Dark Messiah was a pretty alright game. Nothing particularly innovating about it, and considering it came out a few months after Oblivion, it was underwhelming for a fantasy game. It definitely shared Oblivion's love for horrid voice acting, showcased clearly in this gem of a clip here.
Certainly, sir. You go uphill past the golden ribbon and sweet dragon's blood. What's that?
And also through these guys, who all happen to sound like Cobra Commander.
Rush him. Ha! Show yourself. He's trapped. Get him.
Congratulations, Scrap-Iron. The bug you planted is working beautifully.
But did not share the great storytelling and exploration that made Oblivion so popular. But what it lacked in those departments it made up for with a fun combat system. Well, fun at the time. Try and view it with 2006 glasses. There you go. The combat focused on blocks, heavy strikes at opportune moments, and environmental damage. You could kick enemies off ledges or into spike walls, and activate traps with your sword or with switches. But there's one boss fight in this game that uses these environmental kills to produce one of the weakest boss fights ever. I'm Dreambot, and on this episode of Feature Shaming, I'll be lamenting my experience with Dark Messiah's Pao Kai boss fight. Before I talk about this specific boss fight, let's take a look at a different one in the same game to give you a frame of reference as to why this one is so goddamn awful. The first boss fight during the tutorial against this ugly spider, who I'm pretty sure made an appearance in my room last week, is a decent fight. The tutorial beforehand lets you know about the many different environmental kills that you can use in the game, which then factors into the boss fight, wherein you must damage this Spidey boy by pulling these levers to activate a trap that sets him on fire, damaging him and allowing you to get in some slaps with your sword. This boss does fall after like 2 hits, but I let it slide, seeing as it was just a tutorial boss. But then we kick our way through half the game to end up at the antagonist of this video, the Pao Kai Dragon. The level leading up to this boss fight is pretty good. It starts with a new enemy type you get to smack around, and introduces you to this cool rope bow you get to use to find your way around the temple vertically. After killing a bunch of orcs and slightly bumping into your partner, forcing you to kill a bunch of orcs for a second time, you make your way into a cave in order to do some important things with this game's MacGuffin, which comes in the form of a crystal of power. You stop for a hot minute to sword slap some goblins, and then use your rope bow some more to avoid some traps. All the while everyone is not so subtly letting you know that you have to fight the Pao Kai pretty soon.
Don't forget, we may still have to kill that Pao Kai.
Finally, you're ready to get your crystal business started when... Oh no, who could have possibly known? So, on my playthrough here, I spent a few moments trying to figure out what to do when my partner in crime began to tell me, and happened to die midway through her sentence.
Sarah! Lord!
On my second attempt, I think about how they made me use the rope bow in so many instances leading up to this, and maybe I can rappel from the ceiling and slice this dragon up. Nope. Some spell slinging, some frustrated slaps, then my friend says this.
Sarah! Lure it onto the portcullis and drop it on him!
And I think, okay, now what the fuck is a portcullis? Granted, this part is definitely my bad, seeing as how they mentioned it 100 times, so I frustratedly slap about trying to figure it out, and then say screw it, I'll Google it to see what all the fuss is about. Pork cutlets? No, that's a food. Portcullis. Got it. It's this thing. I was like, oh sweet, another environmental thing. I probably trap his head there, get some licks in before he breaks out, and I gotta do it again. Nope, he dead. This boss fight was just a bucket of emotions that did not include fun, and the most prominent being underwhelming. This battle takes place at the end of Chapter 5 in a 10-chapter game. This is just not a good way to do a boss fight, at all. I get it's 2006 and fighting a flying dragon 50 times your size is hard to do, but then just don't do it. Or do something else. I thought the rope idea would have been pretty cool. You could have like burned the rope from the bottom so you only have so much time to do damage before it burns up the whole rope. Damn, I wish I had the talent to make games instead of poorly edited videos. Dark Messiah 2, call me! Thanks again everyone for watching. Hope to see you all in the next week. Cheers.